So greetings everyone. This is the continuation lecture of alkanes, and in this lecture we will be discussing about chemical reaction of alkanes. So what are the chemical reaction shown by alkanes? First is aromatization, second is substitution, isomerization, cracking and oxidation. So let us start with substitution reaction. In substitution reaction, one atom is substituted by another atom. So first is halogenation. In halogenation, one hydrogen of alkane is replaced by the halogen atom. If halogen atom is chlorine, then the process is called as chlorination. If halogen is bromine, then the process is called as bromination. And if the halogen is iodine, then the process is iodination. For example, this is our alkane, that is CH4, which is methane. It reacts with chlorine and we will get CH3Cl plus HCl. Then another hydrogen atom is replaced by chlorine and we will get CH2Cl2. Then another hydrogen atom is replaced and we will get CHCl3, and then one more hydrogen will be replaced and we will get CCl4. If hydrogen atom is replaced by bromine, then we will get CH3Br plus HBr, and the reaction will follow and we will get CBr4, like we got in the case of chlorination. If it reacts with iodine, we will get CH3I plus hydrogen iodide is also formed here. Hydrogen iodide is also formed here. As we can see that this reaction is reversible. So Hi has the tendency to convert back into iodine because this reaction is reversible. So for this, to abstract the product, we need to stop the reaction. We doesn't want the reversible reaction to take place. So we will remove Hi. How we can remove Hi so that it is not converted back to iodine? We use any oxidizing agent. So Hi reacts with any oxidizing agent, and this oxidizing agent removes Hi. It stops its conversion back to iodine. As soon as Hi is formed, it reacts with the oxidizing agent and iodine is formed, and this iodine, it evaporates into gaseous state and we will get the side products NO2 plus hydrogen. So this is how the reaction proceeds in the forward direction. That is, Hi reacts with the oxidizing agent and it is converted to iodine, which evaporates. So another example of substitution reactions are, this is our alkane C6H14. If it reacts with nitric acid, that is HNO3. So we will get C6H13. Its one hydrogen will be replaced by NO2 group and we will get C6H13NO2, that is nitrohexane. If it reacts with sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, we will get C16. Its one hydrogen will be replaced by SO3H group, and we will get hexane sulfonic acid. So let us discuss the mechanism of this halogenation reaction. We know that mechanism of halogenation, it proceeds by free radical mechanism. First is chain initiating step. In chain initiating step, XX, that is halogen molecule, that is Cl2 or Br2 or iodine molecule, it gives us two radicals. Homolytic fission of this bond will take place. Second step is chain propagating step. This is how it proceeds. The halide free radical, it will react with the alkane and we will get alkyl free radical plus HX. Now alkyl free radical, it will react with another molecule of halogen and we will get CH3X plus halide free radical. Third is chain terminating step. In this, all the free radical formed in the chain propagating steps will react with each other and terminate the chain. So halide free radical reacts with halide free radical, we will get halogen molecule. Alkyl free radical reacts with alkyl free radical and we will get alkane molecule. Alkyl free radical will react with halide free radical and we will get alkyl halide. So what are evidences in favor of this mechanism? This reaction takes place in the presence of UV light and does not take place in the absence of light or in the dark. So in the presence of light, rate of this reaction will increase. This shows that this reaction takes place in the presence of light. This reaction does not occur in the dark. Second is effect of inhibitors. Now what are inhibitors? Inhibitors, they react with the free radicals and they will decrease the rate of reaction. For example, here oxygen is used as an inhibitor. It reacts with alkyl free radical and we will get this peroxy alkyl free radical. Now this alkyl free radical, if it is formed, then this alkyl free radical cannot continue the chain. So our product will not formed. Third step is effect of tetraethyl lead, that is C2H5 4 times lead, Pb. Tetraethyl lead. What is tetraethyl lead? It acts as the source of free radicals. How it can give us free radical? Through this reaction. We can see that lead plus 4 ethyl free radicals are obtained. Now these 4 ethyl free radical, they will react with the halogen molecule, that is Cl2, Br2, I2, and we will get C2H5Cl plus chloride free radical. So more and more chloride free radicals will be produced. So in the presence of tetraethyl lead, it acts as the source of free radical. More and more amount of radicals are produced and it increases the rate of the reaction. For example, this alkane, it reacts with chlorine at 415 Kelvin and in the presence of tetraethyl lead. Then if tetraethyl lead is present, then light is not required. This reaction will take place in the presence of dark and we will get our product, that is CH3Cl plus HCl. So this was a substitution reaction. Second type of reaction is isomerization reaction. In isomerization reaction, one isomer is converted into another isomer. For example, this normal butane in the presence of AlCl3 plus HCl, it is converted to isobutane. Third type of reaction is cracking. Cracking, in this high boiling hydrocarbons are converted to mixture of low boiling hydrocarbons. For example, we have this CH3, CH2, CH3. This is decane. At 725 Kelvin, it is converted to this mixture of hydrocarbons. In first, we are getting CH3, CH2, CH3, that is octane plus ethane. In second, we are getting CH3, CH2, 5CH3, that is heptane plus propane. In third, CH3, CH2, 4CH3, that is we are getting hexane plus butane. So we will be getting a mixture of hydrocarbons. No doubt they are difficult to separate, but they are separated by using various techniques. Fourth is aromatization or reforming. In this reaction, acyclic or cyclic alkanes are converted into aromatic hydrocarbons. For example, this is our normal hexane. Normal hexane loses a molecule of hydrogen and we will get this cyclohexane. Now this cyclohexane can lose 3 molecules of hydrogen, one from this 2 adjacent carbons, one from 2 adjacent carbons and 1 mole from 2 adjacent carbons, that is minus 3 hydrogen, and we will get benzene. So here acyclic alkane is converted into aromatic hydrocarbon. Next type of reaction is oxidation reaction. So there are various type of oxidation reaction, that is complete oxidation, incomplete, catalytic and chemical. So complete oxidation is which takes place in the excess of oxygen. For example, CH4, that is methane plus 2 oxygen, that is in excess. We will get carbon dioxide plus water. In incomplete oxidation, it takes place in limited amount of oxygen. CH4 plus oxygen limited, we will get carbon black, which is also called as soot, plus 2 molecules of water. Third is catalytic oxidation, which takes place in the presence of any catalyst. For example, methane, if it reacts with oxygen in the presence of copper, we will get CH3OH, that is methyl alcohol. But this methane, if it reacts with oxygen in the presence of molybdenum oxide, then we will get HCHO, that is formaldehyde. If the same methane, it reacts with oxygen in the presence of manganese oxide, we will get CH3COH. So catalytic oxidation also gives us different products. Fourth is chemical oxidation. It takes place in the presence of chemicals. For example, this is isobutane reacts with oxygen in the presence of KMnO4. Now KMnO4, it gives us nascent oxygen. It is an oxidizing agent. We will get this alcohol, that is CH3C, CH3, CH3OH plus this is tertiary butyl alcohol. So in chemical oxidation, it takes place in the presence of chemicals. So next is orientation of halogenation. Now what is orientation? It is a process to determine that where the attacking reagent will attack the substrate molecule. For example, we have this normal propane, that is CH3, CH2, CH3. It has 6 primary hydrogen. This is primary carbon which is connected to one carbon atom. This is primary carbon which is connected to one carbon atom, and this is secondary carbon which is connected to two carbon atoms. So it has one primary carbon and three primary hydrogens here, one primary carbon and three primary hydrogen. So total we have 6 primary hydrogens and 2 secondary hydrogens. So normal propane has 6 primary hydrogen and 2 secondary hydrogens. So if abstraction of primary hydrogen takes place from this place, let us suppose, so we will get normal propyl radical, CH3 CH2 dot, CH2 CH2 dot, normal propyl radical. And if chloride free radical attacks here, we will get normal propyl chloride, and ratio is 45%. And if the abstraction of secondary hydrogen, that is from secondary carbon, takes place, we will get secondary propyl chloride, and chlorine free radical will attack here, and we will get secondary propyl alcohol in the ratio of 55%. So we can see if primary hydrogen can also be abstracted and secondary hydrogen can also be abstracted. So what are the factors on which orientation depends? So orientation depends upon 2 factors. First is collision frequency. Now collision frequency is same for the above reaction, because both the reactions, they have same collision of same reactants, that is propane and chlorine. Second, if we discuss that the probability factor, how probability factor is affecting the orientation, we can see that we have 6 primary hydrogen and 2 secondary hydrogen. So probability of abstracting the primary hydrogen with secondary hydrogen is equal to 6:2, that is 3:1. So if third is energy factor. If we look at the energy factor, then we can see that energy of activation for abstraction of secondary hydrogen is less than the energy of activation for abstraction of primary hydrogen. Why? Because secondary hydrogen gives rise to secondary free radical, which is more stable, and hence its formation is more preferred. So energy of activation for this step is less, while energy of activation for abstraction of primary free radical is more, because it leads to the formation of primary free radical, which is less stable. Now if we do the detailed study of chlorination, it shows that the abstraction of hydrogen, it has the following sequence, that is tertiary hydrogen is abstracted fast as compared to secondary, which is preferred as compared to primary hydrogen. And relative, this is the sequence of abstraction of hydrogen in terms of nature of hydrogen, that is secondary, tertiary, secondary or primary. And the relative rate of abstraction of hydrogen is 5:3.8:1. So we can see that rates also have very close values, that is 5:4:1. They have very close values. This means that chlorine is highly reactive in nature, that is chlorine only wants to react. It doesn't matter whether it is it is abstracting primary hydrogen, secondary or tertiary. So based upon this, we can calculate the relative yield of isomeric products. For example, in the chlorination of propane, CH3, CH2, CH3, this is our propane. Its chlorination is done. We have probability of abstracting primary hydrogen as well as secondary hydrogen. If we abstract primary hydrogen, the product will be normal propyl chloride. And if we abstract the secondary hydrogen, the product will be isopropyl chloride or secondary propyl chloride. So what is the ratio? Normal isomer over secondary isomer, that is equal to normal propyl chloride over secondary propyl chloride. That is equal to number of primary hydrogen over number of secondary hydrogen multiplied by reactivity of primary hydrogen over reactivity of secondary hydrogen. Now number of primary hydrogen, we can see how many primary hydrogen, 3 plus 3, that is 6. Number of secondary hydrogens are 2, 6/2 into reactivity of primary hydrogen, that is equal to 1. Here we have written the reactivities. Reactivity of abstraction of hydrogen is 5:3.8:1. So primary hydrogen it is 1 and for secondary hydrogen it is 3.8. So we can calculate the percentage by multiplying it by 100. Second example we are taking is chlorination of butane. This is our butane, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. Its chlorination is done, so there is probability of abstracting primary hydrogen as well as secondary hydrogen. So if primary hydrogen is abstracted, we will get normal butyl chloride in the ratio of 28%, and if secondary hydrogen is abstracted, we will get isobutyl chloride in the ratio 72%. So what is the ratio? Normal isomer over secondary isomer, it is equal to number of primary hydrogen over number of secondary hydrogen multiplied by reactivities of primary hydrogen over reactivity of secondary hydrogen, that is equal to 6/4 into 1/3.8. that is equal to 6 upon 15.2. So this is how we can calculate the percentage also. 6 divided by total number, that is 6 plus 15.2 multiplied by 100. Likewise 15 divided by total number of isomer, that is 6 plus 15.2 multiplied by 100. So we will get 28% over 72%. That is 28% of primary isomer or normal isomer will be formed and 72% of secondary isomer will be formed. So if we study in case of bromination, we can see that relative rate of hydrogen atom, rate of reaction of hydrogen atom is 1600 ratio 82 ratio 1. So here we can see that there is high difference in the rates. Like in case of chlorination, it was 5 ratio 3.8 ratio 1. In case of bromination, it is 1600 ratio 82 ratio 1. So there is high difference in the rates because bromine is not very reactive, but also it is very, very selective in nature in case of abstraction of primary, secondary or tertiary hydrogen. Like chlorine was very reactive. It only wanted hydrogen whether it is primary, secondary or tertiary. But bromine is less reactive and more selective about the nature of hydrogen, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. So this is butene, it reacts propane, CH3, CH2, CH3, it reacts with bromine. So there is probability of abstraction of primary hydrogen as well as secondary hydrogen. So if primary hydrogen is abstracted, we will get normal propyl bromide, and if secondary is abstracted, we will get isopropyl bromide. So if we calculate the ratio normal over isomer, we will get that is equal to number of primary hydrogen over number of secondary hydrogen multiplied by reactivity of primary hydrogen over reactivity of secondary hydrogen, that is equal to 6 upon 2 multiplied by 1 upon 82. It comes out to be 3 upon 82 multiplied by 100. It will give you the percentage. In case of butane, if we study the bromination, we will get normal isomer as well as we will get the secondary isomer. So if we calculate the ratio, normal butyl bromide over isobutyl bromide, that is equal to number of primary hydrogen multiplied by number of secondary hydrogens multiplied by reactivity of primary hydrogen over reactivity of secondary hydrogen, that is equal to 6 upon 4 multiplied by 1 upon 82. So you can calculate the percentage of both the isomers. Thank you.